Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk, thinking right out here in my lab. What do I do for you? Oh, I got something nice for you today. Yeah, it's getting spiritual up in here. Let's have some church to teach about the preacher, so pay attention. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. The message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in to receive them. Got a good thing going. I appreciate you. Let's rock. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. There we go again. Will help and guide you to your obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka to know thyself. If you're a right thinker, that's your goal, that's your whole plan, to know thyself. If you do that, that's when you master yourself and become like my man Haru. But the question is, do you know yourself? I'm on my mission to help you do just that. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. That's what I do. What I do for you. Stay tuned. I got you. A person who knows not and believe that they know is religious. Avoid them. They're dangerous. I do. A person who knows but knows not that they know is asleep spiritually. I'm a spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right there, but know thyself. And to my eye, be true. You know I'm big on everything being spiritual. Being religious don't make you spiritual. Spiritual don't make you religious. Understand that. So let's get the difference between the two. I keep trying to explain that to a lot of people. So here we go again. Right thinkers, let's talk about living a spiritually disciplined lifestyle. The difference. We have spiritual people who live a spiritually disciplined life daily. Why? Because of the blessings that they know they will receive. You don't have to do a whole bunch of hooting and hollering, running around, ranting and raving about how spiritual you are. All you got to do is practice good deeds, selfless service, and be your best self. Religious people, on the other hand, from what I see, I'm just observing, I'm just giving you what I see. Religious people live in fear. What do you mean? Because of the dogma they follow teaches that concept. If you don't follow the commandments that were set forth, you're going to hell. Because you're going to hell. But they don't tell you about if you misinterpret, misunderstand, and misteach the biblical concepts and words, you're still going to hell. Moving on. Religious people fear God. I don't understand that because of what? Their, ignorance of spiritual truths about God. Remember, God is spirit. Spiritual knowledge is given knowledge of God. That's what right thinking philosophy teaches. Spiritual people, watch this, embrace God with the help of self-knowledge, aka spiritual truth that you can live by. You will embrace God. You won't, no. You only fear God when you're doing wrong. Remember in the garden when they committed the wrong act? Up until then, everything was cool. As long as you're doing right, you're fine. It's the time that you commit that sin, the time that you do what you want to do, not what's right. That's selling your soul. If you know it's wrong before you do it, and you do it, you just committed a sin against God. That makes you the devil. So conceptually. Spiritual people, watch this. There's the next one down. God is what? Spirit. Man is physical and mental. To learn spiritual truth that God, that obtaining God knowledge is the way to know thyself. There's things that you can learn to get you closer to God. If you're religious, there's things that you can follow. And if you follow the tenets of the commandments that were laid out for you, they work also. I never say it didn't work. A lot of people misuse them, misunderstand them, misinterpret them. That will never work. If you don't come up with 2 plus 2 being 4, you're doing something wrong. Simple. Moving on. Next one is right thinking philosophy is all about learning, getting education, getting knowledge. What? Spiritual truths, ancient Egyptian concepts. I use it my semi-Tawi, I call it right thinking philosophy. But you learn spiritual truths, aka, and live by the spiritual discipline that's handed down through those truths, through the messages that you get, through the stories, through the myths. You live according to them, and you'll see it happen for yourself. What? Blessings. Living right, doing right. You receive blessings for that. Where we at? See, we are taught early in life, right from wrong. And it's a good thing. But what we're not doing is learning spiritual truths early in life. That's what our problem with that generation problem is. The young people is not getting the truth early enough so it can make a difference in their life early. We get knowledge of self way late in the game. Not good. When you know right from wrong, because you was taught that, and you know when you do right, you get rewarded. My children knew if they brought home a good grade, it's going good paper, it's going in the refrigerator. If you come home with a disciplinary paper saying you acting out, you're getting a whooping. 2 different things. Your choice. You want the whooping, you want to show off your good work. Do good work, show it off. Bad work, pay the price. Simple. It's been that way when we raise our kids that way. What happened? We need to teach consequences of actions to our young. If you do this, it's cause and effect. Cause you did that, I'm gonna whoop your butt. So now the cause is that what you did. The effect is what I'm gonna do to you. The consequence. Okay, back to the lesson. Excuse me. Right thinkers, you know doing what's right is a way of life. Why? When you adopt doing what's right on a day-to-day basis, that's a way of life. That's what you call it. I don't call it religion. It's a way of life. I live this. I don't just teach it. No, I live it. And when right thinking is a way of life, now in order to stay blessed daily in your life, just do what's right every day. So you got to, when you're spiritually disciplined, you have emotional control over what? Your ego self. If your ego self is running the show, you got problems. When you have control of your ego self, you're a better person. See the difference? Why wouldn't you want to be in control of your ego when you know if the ego is in control, it's going to cause you problems? When you know better, again, here you go. If you knew better, you do better. When you know better, you should what? Do better. If you want to be better, you can't think it's going to get better without you doing it. With self-knowledge, practice daily, you will be better. Simple as that. Self-mastery comes from what? Practicing bettering yourself every day. Self-improvement. I call it preparing for greatness. In order for me to be my best self, I had to put the work in and practice to get better every day. When you know, okay, excuse me, next one, understand this. God, only a person when it's in the flesh. Spirit is spirit, just that. Okay, it's life, but it needs a host, which is a body. God is spirit. Right thinking philosophy teaches you what? Spiritual knowledge, aka God knowledge. I want you to know God. I want you to be able to serve, worship, and get blessed by God by the work that you put in and the knowledge that you obtain about yourself. And God is a spirit. Man But he gave us what? Free will, aka the mind, a brain, consciousness. We're able to think, we're able to comprehend, we're able to make manifest thoughts. That's what the image being created in God's image is all about. Do they teach you that in religion? No, they give you a whole bunch of other stuff that don't mean nothing. Spiritual knowledge is what? Is God knowledge. Again, learning about the creation, understanding how the universe was created from a concept or perspective that we had 10,000 years ago. It ain't nothing new, but because you got a concept that's been 2,000 years, think it's such great thing since sliced bread. I beg to differ. So moving on. Without spiritual knowledge of our ancient ancestors, you will not know your higher self. Why? No spiritual knowledge, no higher conscious level to reach Nihas, or to become an enlightened being. It takes knowledge. Learning the spiritual truths is knowledge. Is how to what? Know God. For who? Yourself. I can explain it to you. I can break it down for you. But when you manifest your own spiritual truth, meaning you act it, you live them, and you receive the blessings, then you know God for yourself. God, the Spirit, is shared in church, synagogues, mosques, wherever you at, the Spirit of God. But it ain't God in the church. It's the Spirit of the people sharing in that place, wherever it is, the edifice. God don't dwell in there. You bring the Spirit in there with you. I tell my pastor, my church is small in numbers, but we big in spirit. So I mean, everybody there on the same vibrational wavelength. Come to get the word, come to fellowship and worship in earnest. That's all he asks of you. When everyone is on the same spiritual vibrational level, it's a beautiful thing. I call it in my lessons at the house, I called it the kumbaya moment. You look around when you have that moment, you look around and see who's there. Look to your left, look to your right, look out, look over, see who's there when you're having that kumbaya moment, but also recognize who's not there. Moving on. God consciousness is what? Spiritual enlightenment. Spirit, God, enlightenment, knowledge of, to know. It ain't God believing, no, it's spiritual knowledge. When you spiritually enlightened, that means you have knowledge of God. You know thyself and God. Now you are what? God, and you are one. You're God conscious. Everything I do, I keep in God's perspective. Do this be good in his eyes? Will this be good in him? Will this be righteous? If it's not being seen in that manner from him, I'm not doing it. So I use the phrase, at this point in my life, a team of wild couldn't pull me away from God. Okay? Ain't happening. Okay? Me being spiritually enlightened means I'm God conscious. I use my spiritual discipline to keep what? My mind on God and God on my mind. Never mind money. Put God first and everything else to take care of itself. Somebody pay me money to teach them what I know. So I don't do this for the money. I do this for you. Moving on. Spiritual discipline will do what? Keep you from doing something you know is wrong. When you know it's wrong, just don't do it. And don't ask people to forgive you when you do something to them that's wrong. Don't expect them to be forgiving of you. You should be more conscious of what you do and not do it, and then expect somebody to forgive you. If somebody wrong you, how quick are you to forgive them? So don't keep slinging that being forgiven. How about stop transgression against people? You don't have to worry about people forgiving you. I don't do nothing to nobody to make them angry with me or upset with me, or I have to apologize. Simple. You don't apologize? No. I mean what I say what I mean. Simple as that. I'm not going to say something to hurt your feelings. I'm not going to say something to, no, I'm going to say what I got to say. How I feel. Simple. If I'm angry and upset, it's going to be vulgar and nasty. But I'm not going to apologize for it. So spiritual discipline keeps me from doing that at this point in my life. Early in life, I would react to any little thing. any kind of way. I've gotten better. That's spiritual discipline. It holds you what? Accountable to do what you know is right. Never wrong. I'm not going to do wrong. There's something that comes with that. And if I'm conscious of it, I'm not going to do it. If I do it unknowingly, then okay, I apologize. Why? I didn't know. I didn't know any better, so I have to apologize. But I'm not going to knowingly mistreat you or do something to you that I wouldn't want done to me. I don't roll like that. So when it's done to me, I don't take, no, I'm not going to forgive you. Okay? Best I can do is tell you the 3 rules. Dealing with me, don't F with me. Rule 2, don't F with me. Rule 3, don't forget rules 1 and 2. We got no problem because once you break that rule of messing with me, there's some price to pay. Like anything else, I'm a good man. Why? Because I'm God conscious. I'm woke. I know thyself, and I keep God on my mind and all my decision makings on a day-to-day basis. I've gotten comfortable with that. That's why I call it a way of life. You practice every day. I'm still in practice, but I know I'm good at it. Why? Because that's what I do now. Moving on. Last one. Appreciate you tuning in. Okay, cool. Right thinking philosophy. What's that about? It's all about learning ancient Egyptian spiritual truths and then living by them when daily. Implement what you learn in your daily life, and that's how it works. The rightism lessons that I give, the reason why they rightism is because they're lessons, but they're my life also, lessons that I've lived, experiences that I had, so that makes it a rightism. Okay, the lesson is there, but it's one of my life lessons. That's why I call them rightism life lessons. I give to you, when I give rightism lessons, I give to you right thinkers daily. It's the thing that I live by. The same rules I teach, I live by. The philosophy that I profess, I practice. When you study and learn the 42 confessions of Mayat, the laws of Mayat, aka spiritual truths, again, you have to live by them daily to perfect them, to master them, and you will be a better individual for that. Moving on, I'm almost done. Again, I appreciate you tuning in. But you have to obtain and use what? The spiritual truth and spiritual discipline will keep you out of fetters, aka daily drama. When you are ignorant of yourself, you're going to constantly do things that's going to bring on problems, aka daily fetters. I go through life. I'm going to have adversities. Why? Because that's just what it is. But I smooth through all that with no problem. That's when you're living right. When you ain't living right, adversity, so at the end of the world. Nope, I just take that hit and keep on moving. Ain't got time for a story, but that story proved that out. But yeah, I practice what I preach. That's the bottom line. Now, in living a spiritually disciplined lifestyle daily is the way to what? Right thinking, philosophy, mastery. You have to practice and manifest it for yourself on a day-to-day basis until you what? Perfect it. Haru is perfection in human form. That's why I don't teach it. Why? You get there on your own. Hope you like the lesson. Oh, I got more. Live a spiritually disciplined lifestyle. It works. Trust me.